Hey everyone, welcome to episode 2 of Vami. Vegans are mentally ill, or vegetarians are mentally ill, I don't really care. Today we're going to talk about this advertisement that was given to me on the IG and how this is just very strange and frankly stupid. I don't want to make all these episodes only from things that I find on Instagram. I'm sure I can find things elsewhere, and I will do that for y'all. But this is episode 2, so we're doing it. I hate the sweatshirt. Honestly, I don't really like a lot of clothing with writing on it, but that's just me, unless it's something like, not gimmicky, like, I don't know, a sports team or something, or whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm just saying I don't really wear a lot of things with writing on it. It's just not my thing. It's not my style. However, other people are free to wear what they want. I'm not the fashion police. This sweatshirt, though, is obnoxious to me. Because people don't really consider these animals, quote-unquote, homies. Since some of y'all, some of my fans, some people watching this video may not have English as their first language. Homie is a slang term for your homie. Homie is someone that likely lives near you or lived near you, and someone you know very well and consider them to be a good person and consider them to be your friend. I don't know how long this word has been around. Over 25 years is my best guess. I haven't really looked into it. But the term homie is reserved for humans only. Like, you could say, oh, my dog is my homie, or like, my horse is my homie, but like, the word homie is generally very used by people who are not wealthy, and people who own horses are very wealthy, but I digress. If you were to say my dog is my homie, or like my pet chicken is my homie, people would probably kind of smile and laugh and be like, yeah, okay, cool. Because you just don't really speak that way about animals. You don't speak that way about farm animals. I've said this before, and I'll say it again, is that vegetarians and vegans are absolutely hyper-focused on livestock. They have a special interest in livestock animals only. And something I've noticed from a lot of vegans and vegetarians is, honestly, they're pretty fucking stupid when it comes to animal care. They know nothing of what it takes to actually take care of a farm animal. A lot of the times, they know nothing of what it takes to actually take care of a pet. Right, like a cat or a dog or a bird or a hamster or what have you, okay? They're just super obsessed with farm animals. And that's likely because they've traumatized themselves with this trauma porn that, PETA offers. I was trying to think of another organization that does it. It doesn't matter. PETA and other vegorexic advocacy groups use really violent videos of animals in fact being abused, farm animals in fact being abused, to get people to go vegan or go vegetarian. Okay? And I just think that is so twisted and sick and very exploitative of animals. I definitely think that we shouldn't be abusing animals, abusing farm animals, abusing livestock. They should be being treated well, right? And just the footage that they use for shock value and to really scare and specifically traumatize people is really fucked up, okay? I want to say something about this animal is not in this little line here. There's a cow, there's a chicken, there's a fish, there's a pig, there's a horse. Another farm animal is a sheep. Okay, and a lot of vegorexics are like, oh, I don't wear wool because that's an animal product. Which is just so dumb because artificial textiles like polyester, like rayon, like spandex or what have you actually pollute the earth a lot fucking more. Creating those textiles creates a lot more pollution than any natural textile like wool or cotton, okay, or leather. All right, but so I was talking about sheep, and vegorexics are like, oh, like wool is so bad because they abuse the sheep. Actually, moron, it is abusive to a sheep not to shear it. There is this special wool you can buy. It's called mulesing, mulesing. And even if you have sheep that you are using to get wool from, you need to maintain shearing specific spots on the sheep at all times. I think it takes like 6 months to a year for a sheep to grow like a full fleece that you can then shear to make wool. But mulesing is wool you can collect from shearing the parts of a sheep that you need to maintain sheared. You need to maintain these areas for sheep because if you don't, they can get skin infections. Okay? So it's inhumane not to shear a sheep, is my point. And it's inhumane not to maintain the sheep that you own shearing, not to maintain their coats. Okay? So the areas that you need to maintain on a sheep are like around their butthole, their armpits, kind of their armpit area, or I don't know what I would call it. You'd call it for their back legs, but armpits, back armpits, around their ears, and I think a little bit around their neck and face. A lot of sheep are in wet climates, and those areas in the sheep can get wet and stay wet, and you would have a problem because then they get gross, they get infected, like I said. So you need to maintain caring for specific parts of sheep is my point. And vegorexics never know this. They never are aware of these like subtleties and actually truly caring for livestock, because all they have on their minds is the trauma porn, the animal abuse trauma porn that they saw on PETA.com or whatever. Okay? Which is really embarrassing, honestly. Also, something that really does bother me about like commercial farming in the US is that I know for a fact that when they kill cows for consumption, they don't use all of the cow. Like they don't utilize every single bit of the cow. They don't utilize all its skin, all its body parts, etc. And that does bother me, and I do think that's wrong, right? I know a lot about farm animals. I know more about farm animals than the average person. One side of my family was farmers at one point, and I also just care about knowing these sorts of things about animals in general, so that I can refute all the stupid shit that vegorexics say, okay? The thing about chickens is that chickens are, like, not hardy animals, okay? You know those, like, cockatoos and parrots that people actually keep as pets? Like, they can live, over 50 years. That ain't a chicken, fam. Chickens are pretty weak birds, honestly. Even if they're very healthy and well cared for, I don't think they really live very long. I don't actually know off the top of my head, but I know that they really don't live that long. You know, like they're just not a really hardy, like strong bird. So they're just gonna die, like generally. Um, yeah. I was gonna say this. Apparently, you used to be able to buy horse meat in certain parts of the U.S. I'm sure that you still can. Um, I met a guy at a dog park one time who said that he used to feed his dogs horse meat until they outlawed it in 1996. And he said that those dogs lived a really long time. And again, like, I know for a fact that when people do kill horses to get gelatin or whatever the fuck out of them, like, all of that animal is not being used. They're disposing of a large percentage of that animal when they kill them, unfortunately. And if you're gonna kill an animal, like, by all means, just try to use as much of it as humanly possible, because that's the humane thing to do, right? Anyway, I hate this sweatshirt. People do not refer to, in real life, okay, in the real fucking world, people do not refer to farm animals as homies. That's not a thing. I just thought of I'm trying to think of an example. This is just a very childish comparison. This is a very nonsensical comparison. And if this sweatshirt didn't have that line of animals, okay, if it just said don't eat the homies, maybe if it had that line of animals on the front and only said don't eat the homies on the back, I would be like, are you referring to cannibalism? Because yeah, we don't eat our friends, that's not cool. And then if it was like, oh, but don't eat the livestock, I'd be like, what the fuck? Vegans and vegetarians tend to make these rather extreme comparisons, and I just find it foolish, honestly. And I don't know what is wrong with these vegans and vegetarians who are like, well, you wouldn't eat your cat or dog, so why is it any different for you to eat a pig or a cow? Moron. I've never met that pig or cow. I don't know that animal. Also, those animals were not bred to be companions. Okay? And don't you dare compare my dog to a random farm animal I've never met. What the fuck is wrong with you? I love my dog so much. He's actually right near me right now. I don't want to talk about him too much because I'm going to get emotional, but he's the light of my life. He is the best thing that's ever happened to me. One of them. Okay? Hand on the heart. Swearing to God. Alright? But I don't refer to him as my homie. He is my dog. Vegans are mentally ill.